Hello everyone, this is Max, and I am out here in a nice forest in the Sierras. We're going to be camping here for the rest of the day, me and my group, and so I thought I'd take a little bit of time to explore around and show you what I find. So if I see anything, I will let you know. So let's get started. So the habitat I'm going to be exploring today is kind of like this forested area. I believe the dominant tree here is the lodgepole pine, but there's definitely a bunch of other pine trees that also are around here. And most of this habitat looks like what you see in the background over here, this kind of dry area, not a lot of plants on the ground, lots of rocks and logs and pine cones and stuff like that. However, there is also all of this stuff that is around the creeks. So when you get down to where a little creek is, which there is a small little stream here, come through here, and that's where all the moisture gathers, because the water wants to go downhill, and that's where you have all of these bushes and all the greenery. So this is a nice little transition zone from most lodgepole pine habitats to like a little riparian corridor, where the lodgepole pine kind of meshes in with it. So we're going to go around here and we're going to see what animals we can find. We got a deer over here, right next to a stream, and she's foraging for different types of plants and stuff. There she is again. She's foraging on the drier side of the forest. And there she is. There's a golden mantled ground squirrel. He looks like he's feeding on something. He's on a big boulder here inside the bushy area around the creek. And the main places you find these guys are in open pine forests like where we are. They'll also be found higher up and lower down, but open pine forest is where they like to be. And then they also like having lots of rocks and logs around that they can climb on and scamper across, and they do that to look for food and also escape from predators. So they're actually really smart mammals because they're able to, in their mind, create a map of their surroundings and where all of their paths are. If something like a fox, a weasel, or a hawk were to try and go after them, they would know exactly where to run and where to go to safety. So honestly, that's a really cool ability to have, and it's a lifesaver for them because they're able to escape danger. Well, we're going to leave him to this and see what else we can find. So as I was mentioning when we were looking at that ground squirrel, they really like having lots of logs like this and rocks that they can climb on to run across the ground, escape predators, and look for food. And in general, that's what a lot of chipmunks and squirrels that live in these forests in the western United States like. They like having these different ways that they can, run across the ground other than just the ground where they can trip. And it really helps them to get away from predators. So if you ever want to look for chipmunks or squirrels in these forests, look for areas like that have lots of boulders and logs for them to climb on. And then here's the example we just saw. It's some type of woodpecker up here. I think it's a hairy woodpecker. But it's honestly, I heard them making noises, and they're making a bit different noises than I'm used to, and honestly acting different, so it could be something else. I'll put the name of what it is down in here. In the meantime, I'm going to see if I can get a closer look. There's two individuals there. There's also a third one, but I don't know where he went. Here's another look at one. I've never seen them do this behavior where they dance for a little bit and then they just freeze. It could be that they know I'm around and that they're trying to stay still so that I don't see them. But if so, I have no idea what the dancing little bit is. Yeah, there's one of them. Frozen stiff. There's another one. Frozen stiff. It's like I have no idea what is going on. I'm just sitting down here on a log, taking a break, eating my Indian spice snack from Trader Joe's. When I look over to my right, and I notice there's a bunch of leftovers from someone else's lunch. It looks like these are pieces of pine cones that have just been pulled apart. So probably all the pine seeds have been taken out, and there's the cores of them. It's definitely a rodent. Oh, there's some more down there. It's definitely a rodent. It could be chipmunk or golden mantled ground squirrel, but honestly, it probably is a Douglas's squirrel. Those cones right there are really fresh, relatively. So that means it probably came straight from the tree. So it was probably a Douglas's squirrel, since they are the main squirrels around here that go into the trees to find food. But that's really cool. There's another Douglas's squirrel. He's busy breaking into a pine cone over there. So these squirrels, I know they range throughout the Sierra Nevada. I'm not sure where else they are in North America, but they're very important seed dispersers of all the pine trees that live up here in the Sierras, including in the western Sierras, the giant sequoias. The Douglas's squirrel is a very important seed dispersal for the giant sequoia. So you gotta have squirrels happy, because if the squirrels aren't happy, the forest isn't happy. You gotta have it where the trees are having their seeds dispersed and having germination of a lot of them. And you might think, well, if the squirrel's just going to eat all the seeds, how does that make it a good disperser? Well, it doesn't. It does during the summer stash a lot of seeds so that it will have food during the winter. But they don't have perfect memory. Even though this squirrel, when it stashes all of its seeds away for winter, will remember most of them, it won't remember all of them. It just buries too many seeds to remember all of them. So as a result, the ones it forgets are the ones that will germinate into new pine trees. Now look at the Douglas's squirrel. See right there? He had just dug a hole and he buried one of the nuts or seeds that he had gathered. There he is again. And then he's digging another hole there to bury another nut. And they can actually spread out their cheeks, like a lot of different squirrels and chipmunks, to store seeds and nuts in there so that they don't have to make as many trips. Otherwise, it would take a lot more energy for them to go and bury all their seeds. They also have this really cool pattern underneath them, and honestly, to me, they're one of the cooler looking squirrels. But yeah, they only live in thick, well-shaded sections of pine forest where the trees are doing really well, especially this lodgepole pine habitat that we're in right now. Well, I've disturbed this guy enough, getting some good footage, so I'm going to let him be. Well, that's going to be it for this video. I hope that was fun and educational for you all, and if you liked what you saw here and you want to see more videos, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video.